Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si G. Tanji. Welcome to Kababayan Today. We are coming to you from Los Angeles, California. On Tuesday, December 1st, U.S. Marine Joseph Scott Pemberton was convicted of homicide in the killing of Jennifer Laude, a 26-year-old Filipina trans woman, brutally strangled, drowned, and murdered in the Philippines. Laude's murder ignited national and international outrage, not only because of the heinous trans hate crime resulting in Laude's death, but it also exposed the impacts of the U.S. military presence in the Philippines. So joining us to discuss this issue today is Nicole Kababa. She's been here before. She's a Filipino-American community organizer from Long Beach, California. Kasama rin natin si Terry Curvas, who is from Los Angeles as well, and helped co-found Gabriela Los Angeles in 2009. And a newbie on our show, si Janelle Viray, a member of the United Methodist Women, which is the largest denominational faith organization for women advocating for justice. These three women fight for those like Jennifer Laude that don't have the means to have their voices heard. So welcome to the show, ladies. Thank you very much. I feel so empowered being next to all of you guys that are doing this amazing work in the community. Okay, first of all, let's talk about this. Let's have everybody answer this question. What are your thoughts about the conviction? Nicole, what can you say about the conviction of Joseph Pemberton?
Well, I would say that it was a small victory in a sense that he was convicted, but at the same time, I'm pretty upset that it wasn't murder as in terms of the conviction, because it was a really brutal crime. And to be honest, it's heartbreaking to see that, you know, a U.S. Marine is, you know, being protected, and at the same time, you know, he's able to use trans panic as his defense. And so I think it's a victory for the people to see that, you know, there was a court process, but at the same time, it wasn't enough. I think
it wasn't enough. Okay, Terry, talk to us about, you know, what would have been a conviction that people in the network that you work with be happy with?
Well, really, you know, based on the testimony, the evidence, we were really hoping that he would be convicted for murder, which is what he actually committed against Jennifer Laude. You know, she died in a very brutal way, strangled and was drowned in a toilet. So, you know, the fact that he only got 6 to 12 years sentence really is, like Nicole said, is also heartbreaking, because the mother, the community, Gabriela USA, you know, we're all expecting more, that he would have, there would be a stronger sentence and he would be convicted of murder. And, you know, we want to see that he will serve his time and not be protected by the U.S. and whisked away. And, you know, we really want to see that he's going to be placed under the custody of the Philippines.
Okay, so spell it out for me, because I'm a little confused. He was convicted. He's only sentenced to 6 to 12 years, but not convicted of murder, just convicted of
Homicide.
Homicide. Okay, so if you're convicted of homicide as opposed to murder, what's the difference? Just the sentence.
Well, when it's homicide, I think what the judge was considering was the fact that he claimed that he didn't know that she was transgender. And so in the heat of passion and confusion, he admitted to choking her until she was, you know, unconscious. And I think in a lot of ways, when you say homicide, it's a lesser degree. That's why it's only 6 to 12 years. But if it was convicted of murder, it would have been 40 years to life. And so that's a really big difference in terms of what is the value of life of a Filipina in the Philippines versus the value of a U.S. Marine who obviously committed murder. And so this is something that we really question in terms of how the U.S. has more authority and more of a say in this matter as opposed to the Philippines.
Okay. All right. Janelle, what can you say about the conviction?
I do have to agree that it is very heartbreaking, and it's not the charge that we want. We wanted a charge of murder because transphobia is not an excuse to murder someone in cold blood.
Okay, straight to the point. Yes, I feel that a lot of people are only understanding that all lives, trans lives, matter. You know, this is something that, you know, in the Philippines you grow up with. There's a stereotype for trans, ay, lalaking nagbibihis ng parang babae. They don't understand the complexities of people that are trans in the Philippines, right? So how can we sort of make people understand about this case that, justice has yet to be served? Because face value, they're gonna say, oh, convicted naman yan, di ba? Oh, but what we need to understand is that it's not enough, right? And it goes deeper because the Philippines, if you don't know, Visiting Forces Agreement, this is the root of it all, right? So how is it possible that a U.S. Marine who has committed murder, blatant murder, kind of gets away with it, right? How do you feel about that?
I mean, there's been a long history of unequal relationship between the U.S. and the Philippines, and like what you were saying, the Visiting Forces Agreement, also known as the VFA, is part of the root of that because it allows thousands of U.S. troops to come to the Philippines every single year to conduct war exercises. And actually, there were 6,000 earlier this year, and that's double in the years prior. And so we're really concerned because what the Visiting Forces Agreement had done in this case is act as a shield of Pemberton and other U.S. soldiers who actually commit crimes in the Philippines. And so this is why we saw a tug of war when Pemberton was convicted, when the Philippine authorities should have received custody of Pemberton, and instead what we actually saw was the U.S. maintain custody of Pemberton. So,
All right.
Well, I just want to add to that.
Yeah.
So not only have they maintained custody of Pemberton, but they have reported that they are considering building a whole new facility.
Just for him?
Just for Pemberton.
Oh, VIP status in prison?
Absolutely.
Well, that's unfair, isn't it?
Yeah, imagine there's lots of typhoon victims where the Philippine government says that they don't have enough money to, really serve for the needs of typhoon victims, but yet somehow they're able to come up with money to build a special facility for this U.S. Marine who's killed one of our kababayan. So,
well, obviously there's a lot of politics involved, especially, I was just there for APEC. Oh my goodness. I mean, sure, Obama went to the Philippines, lay out the red carpet. This is good for the country. There's so much to talk about. We'll talk about it when we return here on Kababayan.